You ever feel like there's a secret code hiding right in front of you in, everyday language? Well, today, we're going to crack that code. We're diving into the building blocks of words. And trust me, once you see them, you're going to see them everywhere.
Okay, so let's jump right in with a little puzzle. Take a look at these two words, bilingual and semicircle. One's about talking, the other's a shape. They feel totally different, right? But they actually share a secret. Any idea what it is?
All right, if you were thinking prefix, you nailed it. That little piece right at the beginning of the word, that's the key. It's kind of like a little command that tells the rest of the word what to do, completely changing its meaning.
So, what is a prefix, really? Let's break it down. Think of them as the Legos of language, the absolute building blocks of meaning.
Okay, here's the official definition. It's just a bunch of letters you stick on the front of a word to totally change what it means. Look at the classic example, right? You take happy, you add un to the front, and bam, unhappy. It completely flips the meaning. It's such a clever, efficient part of our language. All right, now that we've got the what, let's get to the how. We're going to build your very own word-building toolkit. Let's start with some of the most common ones you'll see out in the wild.
First up in our toolkit is mono. Super simple, it just means one or single. So if someone is monolingual, they speak, you guessed it, one language.
And on the flip side of mono, we've got multi. Pretty easy to guess, right? It means many. So a multilingual person, they can speak many languages. And look at this side by side. This is what's so cool about prefixes. The main part of the word lingual doesn't change at all, but just by swapping out that little piece at the front, we go from one to many. It's like the ultimate shortcut.
Sticking with numbers, let's talk about bi. This one means two or twice. Think about it. A bicycle has two wheels. A biannual meeting happens twice a year. Makes total sense.
Okay, and here's semi, which brings us full circle. Well, half circle, back to our first question. Semi just means half or partially. So a semicircle is literally half a circle. And if someone is semi-conscious, they're only halfway there. See? The meaning is just baked right in. All right, let's move on from just numbers. The prefix inter is all about connection. It means between or among. So an international flight goes between nations. An intersection is where roads cross. It's the prefix that builds bridges between ideas. And last in our starter kit, we've got self. It's pretty straightforward. It means of or by oneself, like in self-control. But self is a bit of a special case. It has its own little punctuation rule, which is actually a perfect lead-in to our next section. Okay, so you've got your toolkit. Now it's time to level up with the advanced stuff. The hyphen rulebook. Yeah, knowing when to pop a dash in there can seem a little tricky, but I promise there's a logic to it. Basically, there are 4 big rules to remember. Rule 1 is a piece of cake. Always use a hyphen with selfish. The others are for special cases, like before a capital letter or when you have 2 of the same vowels smushed together. And then there's the big one. You use a hyphen to avoid confusion. And honestly, that last rule, the one about avoiding confusion, is probably the most important one. It's not just about being grammatically correct. It's about being clear. You want to make sure the person reading it gets what you mean right away, no second guessing. In this example, it's perfect. Recover with the hyphen means you're putting a new cover on your sofa. But recover without it, that means you're getting better after being sick. Totally different meanings, right? And that tiny little dash is doing all the work. That's why that clarity rule is king. All right, enough theory. You know how it is. Practice is what makes this stuff actually stick. You've got the tools, you've got the rules, so let's put your new skills to the test. Ready for a quick quiz? Okay, question 1. A company that works in many countries is called a what? That's going to be multinational. Multi for many, national for nations. See how it works? Okay, next one. Hyphen question. How do you write self-control? Hyphen or no hyphen?
Hyphen, for sure. Remember that first rule we talked about? Self always gets a hyphen. So it's self-control.
All right, last one. What about the word re-enter? Does that one need a hyphen? Yup, it does. This is that repeated vowel rule in action. To stop those 2 E's from looking kind of weird and getting smushed together, you pop in a hyphen, re-enter. It just reads better. So there you have it. You've officially cracked the code of prefixes, those powerful little engines at the start of words. But cracking one code just makes you realize there's another one to solve.
Now that you can see prefixes everywhere, what about the endings of words? What suffixes are just sitting there, hiding in plain sight, waiting for you to find them next?